所以各位，今天很高兴呢，我们可以请到 Federico， 他是从 Foscarini 来的。那今天的话呢，他会针对这个的部分跟大家说一下教育训练的部分。那待会如果因为这个东西已经在我们店里面就是一些时间了，所以说如果说在这段时间甚至有一些客户可能有些问题的话呢，我也希望大家可以在这个的一个 seminar 上面呢能够提得出来。OK， 那我们就稍微欢迎一下 Federico。Federico， 是有请。
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you everyone for joining the session. We're basically going to take you through, who's the translator again? Yeah. Oh, here, sorry. Okay, so we're going to take you through the history of the company, so what's behind the products that you see now in the showroom, so where we were born and what's the, what are the points that you have to stress when you sell the products, basically, right? So if I may start here, there are 4 concepts here that are quite important to our company. First of all, I start from this one, Italian. So we're an Italian company. 100% of our products is made in Italy. Okay, so 100%. There's nothing made in anywhere else. You want to? Okay. You want to translate or?
No, I will speak super basic words. They do understand basic English.
You all understand this, right? 100% made in Italy. Okay. So there's the pointer. Yeah. And then decorative. That means we only do decorative lamps. We don't do architectural lamps. So you won't see spotlights, downlights, rails, that stuff. We don't do. We only do decorative. So they're basically volumes that you can use to personalize a space as a residential, as whatever else. And then obviously lighting, definitely, and design. We are a design-oriented company. You'll see later. There's a collection of designers that work with us. Everything we do is design-based. Okay? Now, what's our mission? The mission is innovation. Why I'm saying innovation is because you probably appreciate it already because you've seen some products, but I'll give you some more examples. We're very innovative in terms of design, but even more so in terms of materials that we use. We always come up with new materials. Every time there's a new design, we even figure out whether any of the materials we're using is suitable. If not, we'll come up with something else. And that we do all the time. And then I'll skip all the rest. So this is where we were born. We were born in Murano. Murano is an island off the coast of Venice, small island, where traditionally for centuries and centuries, the handmade blown glass has been made by Venetians. And that's why Venice is famous for blown glass. I don't know if any of you have been to Venice before, but usually when you go to Venice, you go and visit Murano Island. And the reason why the glass was made in that particular island is because in the old days, you had to use fire to heat the sand to create a glass. And fire was too dangerous in Venice. So they pushed people out of Venice into the island. And that's how they started. Anyway, we were born here. And then we were designing and making blown glass products, handmade. Then we became bigger and bigger. And that obviously was too small. So we moved back into the mainland of Venice. So this is actually our headquarters now. I'm based in Singapore. But this is our headquarters in Italy. So it's around Venice, just near the airport. That's one of our showrooms, the one in Venice. These guys are some of the designers that work with us. Some of them. There are more, but some of them. So I'm sure you know quite a number of them. Patricia Urquiola, probably you know her. She works also with Moroso, so you have Moroso, so you probably know her. Jean-Marie Massot definitely works with a lot of other important brands. Nendo, the Japanese guy. And then we have Luca Nicchetto. Even Tom Dixon designed a lamp for us because, when he wanted to do something more, let's say, higher end, he came to us because he wanted to position some high end. So he had to come to some high-end company. So even he came to us. Ferruccio Laviani and so on and so forth. Sorry, why we have so many designers? We have so many designers because as Foscarini, we have our own personality as a company. So we don't want to stick to one designer only because otherwise that designer will become the company's soul or personality. And then it will hijack basically the whole concept. So we want to spread it to many designers. So each one comes with different ideas. And every year we have hundreds and actually almost close to 1,000 projects that come to us. And then our creative team just get the projects, and then they will just check if they like it or not. If they like it, second step, the designer comes in, and then they will start to develop the project. And then they may develop the project all the way, and at the end they say, okay, at the end we don't like it, the result is not good, so we kill it. So we have so many projects coming in and out, and at the end we have some releases, as you see. Now, same story about materials. The concept here is that every time there's a new design that comes in, break me if I'm going too fast on that. So every time there's a new design that comes in, we don't think prior to coming up with a product, we don't think this product is going to be, we have to do something glass now, or we have to do something metal. Every time there's a design, we take through the project, and at a certain stage, we said, okay, now based on this design, the right material is, for example, plastic, or it's, I don't know, metal, or whatever else. So the design comes first, and then the material follows. As a result of that, we work with many different materials. You can see here, this is concrete, and this is handmade blown glass, the one we talked about before. But we have metal, we have fiberglass and carbon fiber, we have industrial glass, we have silicone, we have plastics, and so on and so forth. You'll see some examples now. So we like to say that we create icons, so products that are very iconic, that people really connect to us. And one example is the Caboche from Patricio Urquiola and Ariana Girotto. So this is the one. You actually here, I haven't seen one, but I've seen the table one, the smaller one. Okay, same concept. This is the idea. This is the inspiration behind. So what happened, Patricio Urquiola came to us, and she, with this object, she put it on the table. Okay, so she said, this is my next lamp. So the problem was how to go from here to here, because you can see the inspiration, but it's obviously difficult to get all the way. So we started with a metal frame, as you can see here, and glass. Okay, glass pairs screwed on the metal frame. Naturally, we wanted to try glass, but it was a disaster, as you can see here. Why was it a disaster? Because the metal frame here, and you can see here, was blocking the light. So the light could not go through because there's a metal frame. So we said, no, this doesn't work. This light must be very bright and must convey the light all the way. So we actually came back to this one, which is plastic, as a structure and also for the pearls. And we wanted to have a particular type of plastic because it had to be very transparent, because we had to have the light flowing through nicely. And then it had to be light, because it couldn't be too heavy. And then it had to be scratch resistant. So we investigated a lot, and we researched a lot into plastic, and we came up with this plastic, which is called polymethyl methacrylate. Sounds like a bad word, but it's actually the name of a plastic. As a quick reference, it's the same plastic which is used for the headlights of the cars. Yeah, so the cars, the headlights in front, they are plastic, very transparent, of course, because the light has to go through, and very scratch resistant because you use it in the car. So it's a high-end plastic. It's actually even more expensive than glass. But it gave us the opportunity to have a structure that you can see here, actually, that almost disappears. You can't see the structure almost. So it floats nicely. So it's lighter. And this is the purpose. So what's my message with this example is sometimes you see our products like this one. It looks very simple, very essential, very easy, but there's a lot of engineering behind. We've been through many, many stages before releasing the final product. And another good example of the same concept is the Twiggy from Mark Sadler. This is Mark holding it. Mark is a very nice guy. He's a very interesting designer. He's actually one of the most interesting designers that I've ever come to know. He was with me in Singapore recently, and we've done a nice lecture at the La Salle School of Design. And he explained, he's a French, but he lives in Italy, speaks perfect Italian, and has been living in Italy for a very long time because Italy is where the design comes from. So he came to Italy because he wanted to do design. And he bought a house in the south of Italy on the beach. And then he bought a house on the beach, and every day he would go fishing. And as he would go fishing, sometimes in the day, sometimes in the night. So when you go fishing in the night, you throw the line, and then you put the light on top of your fishing rod. If the light moves, then it means you have the fish. So he said, this is a good idea for a lamp. And actually he designed this lamp as a fishing rod. Okay? So you can see here, it's actually really a fishing rod. So the idea of this lamp is to have something flexible, so much so that we provide a weight. You've probably seen that. So you add more weight, you can adjust the height, because here it's flexible, so it's like a fishing rod. And we actually work with a fishing rod manufacturer who was producing fishing rod before in Italy and was going out of business because now most of the fishing rods are made in China. But we told the guy, hang on a minute, we're going to give you a project, help us to make a lamp that is based on a fishing rod. So flexibility is one thing. It's the stem has variable density. That means we make sure that it bends exactly here and not here, here, or here, because the density is different inside. The other thing is that we wanted to, the purpose of designing this lamp was to solve a problem. Yeah? Sometimes when you talk to interior designers or clients, you have to solve problems for them. And the problem here was, I want to have a lamp that brings the light all the way to here, right? Without a power point. So for example, if you have a very tall ceiling or something like that, you can't hang a suspension lamp, but you still want to have your light here. So how can you do it? You have to have a lamp that goes all the way like this. So this basically brings the light all the way, in a way, from here, and from whatever is the power point, all the way to here. So it can be over a sofa, it can be over a table, it can be over a desk, it can be over whatever. And the starting point, which is the base, this one, has to almost disappear because you want the light to be here, but you don't want to see anything here. So we've designed the base as very thin. You realize it's very, very thin, but very heavy as well. So the lamp doesn't wobble, but it's very stable at the same time, right? So it's balanced, very well balanced, and then it goes all the way here. Variable density, weights to adjust the height, and extension kit. So you can actually add one piece here that makes it taller. Okay? So there's a lot of engineering, again, behind this lamp. That you look at it, it's very simple. You look at it, it's very simple. It's just like something like this. But there's a lot of engineering behind, a lot of work that we've done to come up with this lamp. And actually, this is our bestseller. It's our #1 bestseller everywhere in the world, all markets. So the colors you see here are all the new colors. So there's a red, there's a blue, light blue, that we just launched. This one is a sort of a gray, and then we kept the black and the white because they were the most popular. So these are the new colors. It's available in 2 versions. One is halogen, so there are 3 halogen bulbs inside, and another one is LED. It comes with a built-in LED board. I'll come to the LED anyway. Rituals, don't know if I haven't seen it here anyway. Designed by Ludovica Roberto Palomba, 2013, launched in 2014. This is the sketch from the designer, the original, first sketch. But this allows me to talk about the blown glass. Since we have a lot of products that are made, handmade blown glass, you need to understand what's behind, how they're made, okay? So whenever you make glass, you start from the sand, okay, minerals, just sand. So what happens, you put the sand in an oven, and then you have to cook the sand overnight. So you start the night before. So tonight, you put the sand in an oven, you switch on the oven, and then you go. And you leave the oven the whole night until it becomes liquid. So the sand melts, it becomes liquid, right? So in the morning, people go there, it's all manual, it's all handmade. So people go there with this pipe that you see here, okay? It's a metal pipe. They go there, there's a molten sand, and then they pick up a little bit of quantity of this liquid, which is what you see here. They take it out, and then they blow like this in the pipe. And by doing that, this expands, and it creates these shapes that you see here, for example. Now, how we can make sure that all the shapes are regular is because we use a mold. So what happened? This guy picks up the pipe, right? And there's a mold which is underground. So he presses a button, the mold opens. He puts the thing in, presses another button, the mold closes, and then he blows inside. It's all manual. He knows for how long to blow and with this, which intensity and all that. Then he opens again the mold, and then he comes up with this. Then what happens, it's still connected to the pipe. So there's another guy who comes with a little bit of cold water, sprinkles a bit of cold water, and that breaks the glass. So it separates this from the pipe. Then this thing is still hot. So it goes into a big oven again, which is like a conveyor belt. So it moves like this. And it's very long and it moves very slowly. So it takes about 6-7 hours to bring the temperature all the way down to the ambient temperature. Very slowly. Why? Because otherwise it will break. So you need to do very slowly, slowly, slowly. At the end of all this, it's ambient temperature. Another guy comes in and he does the finishing. So it's sandpaper and all that. And in the particular case of this product, the finishing is a matte finishing, so we even immerse it into acid. It's a special acid that creates this finishing. So again, another example where you see something very simple. It looks like a paper lantern, right? Very simple, but there's a lot of work behind. There's 3 days work for each one. Yeah, so this is and they're all handmade. So Rituals comes in 3 sizes and shapes plus extra large, so there's a bigger one. Table version, as you can see here. And then also suspension version that basically can be displayed as a single piece or together in a cluster, and it's quite suitable to use with our multiple canopy accessory. So what's a multiple canopy? It's just a canopy that has 6 slides, and you can actually hang up to 9 lamps here, depending on the model. In fact, there's a configurator which we have on the catalog that tells you how many pieces you can hang for each type of lamp. Why we developed this accessory is to give the opportunity to people, and to people like you, here, to create some special compositions without doing something customized, which you can actually do by yourself, by just having this one and then hanging whatever you want. So this is something that I always recommend to have in the showroom. Why? Because you can show the clients many different things. So today you can have a composition of 2 rituals. Then tomorrow you change, you can have something else. But I'll show you some examples. And it works with the diesel products as well. Now, Tuareg, designed by Ferruccio Laviani. Ferruccio is, in a way, also helping us with a lot of different things. He designs our showrooms. He has a fantastic vision on the spaces, so he can actually lay out nicely the spaces. He designs our booth at the exhibitions, Milan Fair, Shanghai, designed Shanghai that we've done last year and probably going to do this year as well, and so on and so forth. But he designs lamps as well. So this is a still from a video clip, and that reminds me that we have a YouTube channel called Foscarini Lamps. I don't know if any of you have seen that, but then on that channel, there are all our designers talking about the lamps. So you can actually go and see. If you choose one lamp, then the designer will explain what's behind the lamp. But anyway, this is the still from that video clip from Ferruccio, and he plays with the things that look like sticks, and he reorganized them in this way. So these are the 2 lamps. It's a built-in LED touch dimmer. So quite essential, quite a big lamp. In a way like a sculpture, as you can see here. And then Lightwing, Jean-Marie Massot, we talked about him just before. This is him holding it. And this is the lamp. So it's a very simple floor lamp, 2 colors, 1, 2, and then this one, orientable shade, you can see here. It can be turned around, all that. There's a built-in LED here, and this is orientable. What's the advantage of this lamp is that by playing with the shade, you can always project the light on the wall without bothering your eyes. Sometimes when you have lamps, you don't want to look at the light source because after a while, it will bother your eyes after a while. It becomes a bit too glare. So by using this shade, you can actually shelter the light from your eyes and project it on the wall. So this is the thinking behind. All right, so LED. All this while we talk about LED, right? So why we're doing products with LED? The reason why, it's a multiple reason, okay? First of all, there are some markets that nowadays require LED almost as a regulation. And one is Germany, for example, which is a big market. Definitely in Germany, they always want LED. Another one is Japan. Japan is going heavily into LED. Some prefectures in Japan only allow LED in projects because of the power consumption. So by using LED, you can bring down dramatically your power consumption. You can cut it by far. The problem with LED before, in the beginning of the technology, is that LED were too bright. The light was, they call it very hot light in a way, so looking a bit like hospital light. So almost towards blue. But then the technology became better and better. And we developed our own ones, actually. Our LED products are our own one that we design and that we test and we produce. And the rationale was whenever we come up with the equivalent LED product of an existing halogen product, it has to look exactly the same. To the point that in the Milan Fair, we put together a Twiggy halogen and a Twiggy LED, and we challenged everybody to tell the difference. Nobody could tell the difference. They were exactly the same. And here we're talking about the lighting temperature, okay? So you want the lighting temperature to be anywhere between 2,700 and 3,000, because this is the optimum range where you have a warm light. So nice. You don't want to have those hospital type of blue light, which will be above 3,000. So 3,500, 3,700 will be terrible. Nobody wants to have that at home. So we keep this. And you also want to have a CRI above 90%. CRI is a measure of how true the colors can be seen through this light, particular light. So in a way, 100% will be the sunlight outside. Yeah. So the reference 100% is the sun outside. So anything you see under the sun on a bright day is 100%. So our LED are above 90%, which is a very high. So they're very high-end LED. They can be used in, even in jewel shops, for example, because they need to have very true colors. Otherwise, people can't choose the jewels. So remember, the lighting temperature is the suitable one. The CRI is a very good one, above 90%. This is what you have to take off. And, of course, power consumption. But the point that you have to probably stress with your clients that is really, really important is the fact that once you buy a product which is LED, it's maintenance free. Yeah? Because what happens? When you have a halogen bulb, the normal average life of a halogen bulb is 2,000 hours. That means after 2,000 hours, on average, the bulb will go off. Then you have to change it, right? For LED PCB, it's 50,000 hours. So 25 times more. And when we say 50,000 hours, it doesn't mean after 50,000 hours it dies, but it just goes a little bit deteriorating. Yeah, slowly, slowly, but it can still be good for many other hours. 50,000 hours on as a life for a lamp is quite long, because it's effectively on for 50,000 hours, so it's a lot. It's forever basically. You would chuck away the lamp before you even think about changing the LED. So. Again, the idea is maintenance free. So if you have projects, for example, imagine recently we've done a hotel in Dubai, a W hotel, close to about 1,000 rooms. So imagine 1,000 rooms, if they have to send the maintenance to change the bulbs all the time. Basically every day they will have something to change. But by using LED, they just install it and forget about it. So imagine the operating saving that they will have. And likewise, even for a private client, it's the same story. You don't want to have the hassle of, oh man, I have to change the bulb and all that. And even in terms of price, because obviously LED is more expensive, yes. But if you take the Twiggy as an example, in the Twiggy there are 3 bulbs, halogen bulbs. So each bulb 2,000 hours, right? But the LED version is 50,000 hours. So it's 25 times 3 bulbs. So it's 75 bulbs that you're saving. So if you think about the cost of the bulbs, this is a lot of money. So, and the last point is if you are environmentally conscious, LED of course saves power and saves bulbs. So definitely for the environment, it's also very good. So those are the points that you have to remember. First of all, high CRI, very good lighting temperature, warm and nice. Duration, okay, so very effective in that sense, and also environmentally free. Is all clear, or any question? Okay.
从刚刚到这个阶段，大家有什么问题想要问他吗？在他进入到案介绍之前。
如果之前买的是传统的灯泡，它可不可以换成？因为它有2个版本，就是说我们现在如果有以前客人，他是买，比如说他原本是聚醛灯泡，能不能换成 LED？说，因为以前台湾也有买 Foscarini 灯的客人，可不可以更换？
He's asking that because Foscarini has been in Taiwan for a while, and if they bought the old version, which is with a traditional light bulb, can it be changed to the LED light
No.
bulb?
No.
That's impossible because it's completely different inside. The one with the LED, it's a dedicated LED board that is completely, the whole thing is different. What they can do, they can use a retrofit LED bulb, which they have to be careful also because there are so many different quality, of LED bulbs that you can buy. So, for example, in Japan, I've seen very high quality. They have very, very high quality LED bulbs that almost look like the halogen version. So it's fine. But sometimes, for example, in Hong Kong, I've seen terrible quality ones. When you put that, it looks just not good. So, and also you have to be careful with the voltage and the wattage also to make sure it's compatible because you don't want to install something that then damages the lamp. So, but yeah, they're just 2 different models. Yeah.
就是没有办法跟原厂拿原厂灯泡换，可是市面上其实在就是一般的钼式灯泡或是爱迪生灯泡或是那种急救灯，他们在转换的过程其实是有做成用 LED 光源去做成那样子的规格，对。可是他说因为品质差异非常的大，比如说在日本它的灯泡非常之好看，就像那种居酒屋做的照出来是非常好看的。但可是他说在香港就看到有一些东西看装上去之后，那个光源其实并都是很明显的。然后再来就是那个传一般灯泡跟 LED 灯泡的那个瓦数还有特殊的状况。有些人因为他们不太懂，所以他们要自己找市面上放得进去的可以，可是他觉得要找到好的适合其实不是很容易。对，原则上是没有办法。
Okay. So projects basically will show you the concept that I said before. Decorative lamps are actually building blocks, so they are part of the interior design, as opposed to architectural or technical lamps. They are in fact only as the purpose they have is only to light the place. Our lamps, being decorative, are part of the furniture in a way, part of the way the place looks like. So they're building blocks, that's what we call them, and you can personalize different spaces. I'll give you examples so you understand how to even propose the lamps to your clients based on what they have to furnish. Okay, so our Allegro and Allegretto, you're probably familiar with this. You have seen, I haven't seen here. Do you have this? This is one of our big, one of our big hits. So you should actually consider. There are 6 of them. Then let me show you slightly better here. There are actually 6 of them. They're made of metal, it's aluminum. We've got plenty of. Okay, so 3. Those that you see here. So Allegro, the bigger versions, 1, 2, 3, and then Allegretto, smaller, 1, 2, 3. Different colors, different shapes. All of them are made of metal. It's aluminum. There's a light projected this way and one this way, so it goes both ways. They can be light up independently, and there's an LED version as well, both halogen and LED choice. The metal rod are only hooked here, so they're free to float. In a way, if you touch it, it moves, right? So because they only hook here. Very successful for us. We've done a lot of projects, you can see here. This is in Napa Valley in California. It's a winemaker. What's interesting to see is look at the light, the shades it projects around here. Because of the way it's made. Yeah, you see here. So you can create very nice effects. So actually you should have at least one or more to show on the floor, because with this floor you can see very well. And I tell you, most people generally when they see that they're very impressed because it looks quite nice. This is the biggest one. Okay, you can see the people here, so it's quite a big lamp. This is a restaurant in Melbourne, in Australia, by Gordon Ramsay, the celebrity chef. So this is him. It's all over. Some more examples here, but this is Intercontinental Hotel in Switzerland. But I want to come to, okay, this is a shop. This is a W Hotel, again, in Puerto Rico, in the U.S., in the Caribbean. The design, all the design is done by Patricio Chiola. So again, you can see even in corporate projects. So for example, in Singapore, with these models, we've just done the JP Morgan Bank executive offices, all those. Okay, museum. This photo is very interesting because again, you can see the way it looks. You can create this. This is the Hilton in Melbourne, Australia, South Wharf. If you've ever been in Melbourne, this is a good place to stay. I always stay there when I'm in Melbourne. And it's designed by Woods Bagot Architects. And they've done a really nice job because as you can see, there are actually, you can see only two here, but there are two more. So there are four of them in a line. And as you get into the lobby, immediately you see a line of this that leads you all the way to the front desk. And then at the front desk, there are these two here and then these two here. So basically they use the lamps to highlight the places where people should go normally, because when you go to the lobby, you either go to the front desk or the concierge. So, I mean, this is a way to play with it. Definitely a fantastic project. It's been on magazines and everything, and anyway. And this is in Japan and so on and so forth, just to show you. Kabosh, again, there are plenty of projects. Just a few examples here. Again, they use the lamp. Again, this is interesting to understand that decorative lamps can give messages. In this case, because this is it's a sort of a lobby again in a hotel. So they wanted to show by putting the lamps here that this is the sitting area. So they wanted to put the attention on the sitting area. And they also use the free tents and chairs, as you can see here. And you can also check the reflection here on the table. So it's quite... This is another fantastic hotel. It's in Abu Dhabi. It's the best hotel you have in Abu Dhabi. It's the Etihad Towers. It's quite an amazing place. If you're in Abu Dhabi, this is the one place to be for sure. Incredible view. There's a beach and all that. And they use all our kibosh all around the place. The one you have there on the table, we've just done the boutique from Lancome. You know, the cosmetics, L'Oreal, Lancome. We've just done all the boutiques in most of all the boutiques in Asia. Yeah. So hundreds and hundreds of boutiques with that, all that. And you can see here, even in a retail space, it's obviously a good solution over a table. It could be a dining table. It could be something like this, but it could also be a project, small retail shop like this one, for example. It's also quite a good solution. As I mentioned before, there's the halogen version and also the LED version. So the LED version will have one LED board here and another one on top, so that it goes down and up. So you have the light coming in two ways, and so it can still produce the same. Okay, Twiggy, that you're already familiar with, but here you can see some projects. For example, this is Mandarin Oriental in Barcelona. Again, all the interior design here is by Patricio Chiola. Again, as you can see, some Moroso B&B chairs. But she play around with our Twiggies very nicely. Again, this is on a lot of magazines and all that. It's a very signature project. Personally, I quite like it. In Dubai, and this is in south of Italy. It's a resort. Again, you can see the concept that I said before. You see the base, the base of the lamp disappears. You don't see the base of the lamp. You don't want to see that. You just want to bring the light from somewhere all the way to here. For example, here, in this particular case, the ceiling was very, very high. Why? Because it's an old building. It's a very old building, beautiful building that they renovated and they made fantastic. It's a golf resort, and it's actually a winemaker. So they couldn't hang a suspension because it's too high. But still, they wanted to have the light on top of the table because you need to have the light on the table, right? So this solves this problem. It brings the light all the way on top without having a suspension. And then this version, which is the ceiling version of the Twiggy. Okay, so same concept, it's flexible, but it comes from the ceiling. And you can actually rotate. You can move it around. So if now this is a workstation, so it's a desk. Imagine if you change the position, you move it, the lamp can follow it. But it's even more important for restaurants. Normally, as a restaurant, if this is a dining table and you have the light on top here, today it's good, but tomorrow you want to move the table here because for many reasons you want to change the layout. Then problem because you have the thing here and you have the thing there. So by using this, you can, okay, no problem, and rotate it. So. Right, this is the Missoni Hotel. Again, same story. You can see the base. You don't even see the base, right? It's sometimes they even put the base under the sofa. So totally you don't see it. But again, very nice because you have the light coming up here. Nicely, you can sit there, read a book, or anyway, do whatever you want. And this is the Missoni Hotel in Scotland. And again, same story here. Look at that. They couldn't put suspensions here. But again, they wanted to have the light here. So we come up to the same conclusion every time. As well as this one. For example, you would never have a suspension hanging here because it would destroy the design of the place. It would be terrible. But you need the light. So, same story. Now, this is where we become different. We call it evolution line. So, for many products that we really like and they are very like bestsellers like Twiggy, we create an evolution line. So, it's something that goes to the next stage. So, for example, here you have one base only, and then many Twiggies coming out from the same base to create this kind of sort of a composition. Now, you may think that this is only an installation, but actually it's a product and it sells. So we have project for this. So from here to here is about 4 meters diameter. So it's quite a big thing. So it would be hardly for a residential place. It would be more for a lobby of a hotel. We've done few projects for hotels where they have a lobby and they want to have something right in the middle as an anchor point, and this is a good solution. And again, by playing with the extension kits, you can make it taller, you can make it shorter, and whatever, and so on and so forth. And it's completely customized, so you can change the colors. We have one in Singapore now that is all black except one shade which is red because they wanted to have it this way. I mean, it's and again, number of shades we can always choose. So, the client can say, I want 10 pieces, I want 16 pieces, whatever. But it has to be even because they have to balance, okay? So, evolution line, this is for the Twiggy. The Big Bang, I think I haven't seen that either. Anyway, you can see here, again, the concept that I stressed before, that decorative lamps are part of the personalization of a space. Like in this case, if you imagine for a second to remove the lamps, just imagine to remove the lamps. This would be a normal canteen, nothing really special. Okay, yes, they're using the Eames chairs. Definitely they spend money, for sure, because the chairs are relatively expensive. But it's still a normal, nothing to shout about. But when you add the lamp, you have movement. It becomes more, it becomes definitely something that, more impact. Somebody will remember this because, So this is what you achieve by using decorative lamps. As well as this case. Or in a retail environment like this one. And a wine bar, again, this is also quite interesting. And again, we're coming to the evolution of the Big Bang. So same concept as before. So this will be one Big Bang. This is another one, and so on, to create something, a composition like this one. Again, it's completely customizable. Again, it's not just for an installation, it's a product. We've done many projects with this particular evolution, with the Big Bang. Don't look at the color. In this case, particularly, they want white and yellow, but it can be all white, it can be any colors because it's a custom made. Projects with this one include residential. For example, we've done quite a number in Dubai where they have a big place and there's a stair. So if you imagine a stair going around like this. In the middle, they put this one. So there's a stair going like this all the way, and in the stairwell in the middle, they put this one. The advantage is that by the way it's made, when you look at the lamp, you will never be in contact with the lighting source, with the light directly into your eyes, which is not nice. So as you walk in the stair, your eyes won't be, bothered by the light. So this is shelter in a way. So again, for all the Evolution models, remember we don't have stock of those because it's customized, because you can choose how many pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. So they have to be ordered and made to order. So it takes 3 months delivery. 3 months delivery. Whereas most of the products, the normal ones, we have stock. Another project we have with this one is in India that I remember of. It's a oil company, so it's quite a big building. They have a grand lobby in the entrance. They're putting 6 of them at the entrance as and it's quite impressive. Okay, this one is called Mite, not Might, as everyone says, Mite. It's a project that we particularly like. This is the lamp. First of all, we won this award, which is called Compasso d'Oro. It's the most prestigious award for design in Italy, and probably one of the most prestigious in the world, because, being the most prestigious in Italy means a lot. What's interesting about this lamp is that the material is fiberglass and carbon fiber for one version, fiberglass and Kevlar for another version. So very, very high-tech materials. And when, again, designed by Mark Sadler, when he designed it, we worked on the project for about 1 year. After 1 year, our production said, we're sorry, it's impossible to make it because these two materials cannot work together. No matter how much we try, we cannot get the thing working. And then the designer said, don't worry, because I designed the material, I designed the lamp, I'm going to design the machine to make it. And he designed actually this oven that you see here, which is a very big oven, you can see it, with another part here. You can actually close this and seal it completely and create vacuum inside. And by doing that, these two materials start to like each other and work together nicely. And so we could come up with the final version. So here you can see the gray one, which is here, but there's also a yellow one. Now the gray one is fiberglass and carbon fiber. Carbon fiber is black, as you know. Carbon fiber, you've seen it in the cars, in very high-end. In Kevlar is yellowish, is a material that is used for the bulletproof vest. Yeah, so very high-tech, very experimental. The fantastic part about this lamp is there's no structure inside. It's self-supporting, so the light can flow nicely through the whole lamp. So you don't have any black spot. So it's very neat, and definitely it's a unique lamp. Very particular. It comes in 2 versions. It comes in the halogen and the LED version, as I said before. And it comes in many different configurations. So what's interesting to understand is our lamps usually, we design one. For example, in this case, we designed the floor one as the first one, but then we come up with a whole family. So like suspension, another type of suspension here, same lamp, same material, and again, table, suspension. You can see this is a hotel. The whole hotel, they use, this one, and this one. So it's the whole project with this lamp. And then again, you see, this is the lamp, but we're coming up with the evolution again. So this is an evolution, in fact, of this one. So this one is the lamp, and we're doing the evolution. So we call it the snake, because it looks like a snake. And again, we have quite nice projects. We've done few nice ones in Singapore. Private houses, the clients wanted something very particular, very impressive, and this is very impressive. There's another type of evolution, which is this one. So you probably recognize one lamp here. This is one lamp, but we repeat many times to create like a star. Again, the diameter from here to here is about 4 meters, because each lamp is 180. So 180 times 2 plus the ring inside is about 4 meters. So it's used definitely for big space. Like this one is a shopping mall. They have a big volume. They have a big volume which looks empty. They wanted to create something nicer. Here we go. So we got now one in Shanghai, in China, now coming up with this one. Similar project for this. Soleil, there are these two colors plus another one which is blue. You can see some examples here. It's all about the way the light flows through the shades to create these different hues of light. They create different shades and all that you can see here. And then there's the evolution of the same lamp. You can see it here. So again, it's one Soleil times plus you have upstairs. I've seen one in the Knoll area. Again, it comes in two versions. It comes in halogen or LED. For plus particularly, I always recommend to go for LED version because this is a big lamp. So in most cases, the customers will use it in tall ceiling like this one. So they install it like this. Now imagine if this is halogen, and then after some time you have to go and change the bulb. How are you going to do? You have to put a ladder. You have to put a scaffold. It's very troublesome. It's very, very troublesome to go and change the bulbs here. So once you use the LED version, you just install it and forget about it because there's no maintenance. It will last and last and last. So for this particular lamp, always LED for sure. Don't even consider, unless you for sure know that it's going to be installed in a place that is easy to reach. Okay? So two colors. And now we launch the medium version, which is not on the presentation, so I'll show you in the catalog. As I said, this is quite a big lamp. I mean, you have it upstairs, so you know. But again, we launched the medium version. Okay, so this is plus grande. Grande means big, but okay, this is the medium. So it's less than half the size, and you can even use it this way, as a line. Okay. And the same lamp comes also in table version, the medium one, which is page 50. I want to show you because it's also very interesting. Okay, this is the table version. It's the height is about 50. It's about half a meter. Okay, so imagine something like this. Okay, I mean something like this. So it's half the size of the other one, more or less. And it's very nice because when you switch it on, again, it creates this lighting pattern. Very, very nice once you see it on the table. So another good proposition for you to consider to have in the showroom because it's quite nice. Anyway, this some projects for this one. This is our showroom in China, Beijing. Tres. Particular material is polymer and fiberglass. It's a composite material. It comes in many different configurations and various colors. The tall floor version has two lighting sources, one from here and one from here. You can't see the cable because it's built in the structure. So that's the particular thing about it. And there's the LED version as well, both for the floor and for this suspension. See some examples. Okay, Chouchin in Japanese means lantern, so it's a lantern. It's handmade blown glass. There are three colors now with this size. There's a smaller size only in two colors and two shapes, which we call Chouchin Mini. And there's a new one which we just launched. Again, it's going to be in the presentation, so I'll show you later. Particular thing about this, it's handmade blown glass again, but you have two ways to put colors into glass. One way is to put minerals in the composition of the glass itself, so in the sand. So once you cook it, you have a glass that is pre-colored. In that case, the whole material is colored. So when you switch on and off the light, the color changes because the light flows through and it changes the color. Or if you want to keep the same color, you have to paint the glass. So in this case, the glass is painted because the designer wanted to have a consistent color whether it's on or off. So basically, there's no light flowing through this part. It's blocked because it's paint. The light goes through here, the color, and then down. Okay? So Yeah, you can actually see quite well here. There's no light coming out from here, but it's here because it's painted. And here as well. All space, it's a sort of a sci-fi inspired, designed by Luca Nicchetto. You have the light flowing through this way, and then there's a hole, so it goes also down like this. You can see how it looks under this light and under that light, so it changes completely the appearance in a way, and there are various colors. This is another very strange lamp. It's made of a soft rubber, so it's soft. This part looks like a gardening hose, so to water your garden. 3 colors, very flexible. It's also good for outdoor use because it's waterproof, so you can use it outdoor. But you can use it indoor. For example, in this case, they use this lamp to solve 2 problems. First of all, they had to bring the light on the table because you want to see what you're eating. Second point, there was this big wall that there's a curtain, so they couldn't hang anything there. So it looked completely empty. So it's not nice to see something completely empty. So by using this kind of lamp with the stem of the same color, they actually fill the space nicely. So again, very good interior designer here. Here they use it to replace a chandelier. Normally you would have a chandelier here, but actually in this case they use this one hang like this and all that. And here they cut it and just use it neatly and nicely. And this is also extremely clever because this is a shop-in-shop within a shopping mall. So they use the lamps as a partition. It's like a wall to define inside and outside the shop-in-shop. So very nice project as well. A plomb, do you have it here? Very unfortunate because this one is one of the best sellers. It sells a lot in Japan. It's our #1 product in Japan. Why? Because the Japanese definitely like this is made of concrete, so they like the material and they like the essential, simple, clear-cut design. So 3 colors. It's handmade and hand-painted. You should see it live. We should actually touch it because it's really fine. Once you touch it, you understand how nice it is. And there's a new version now which is mini, so smaller. Okay, this photo is here. It's W Hotel again. We do a lot of W Hotel, but you can see it's a very good proposition over a dining table or over a counter, bar counter like this one. Normally displayed as a line, as you can see here. We also have a multiple canopy accessory, which is a line multiple canopy. You can hang all the lamps there, or like this. You can see. I don't know if here there's a close-up to see the texture because being concrete and being handmade, it is very particular. Well, not that you can really see too much from here, but you can actually see the bubbles of the concrete and all that. I mean, it's very, very particular. So, anyway. Okay, Lumiere. Iconic model for Foscarini, designed by Rodolfo Tordoni, so a very big name, Italian design. Designed 25 years ago. Okay. We just launched the new colors, so these are the new colors. Will be available now. And then Rodolfo Tordoni came back a few years ago and redesigned it as well. So 2 options available, the traditional one and the modern one. Both popular, equally popular. Some people like this one, some people like this one. So it doesn't, but this one is actually still the most popular one, though it's the older one. We launched now the 25th anniversary version, which is a limited edition. This. What's particular about this one is that it's painted with a painting that contains real silver. So there's a real silver in the painting, so it gives this shiny, silvery feeling. So it's very unique, and it's limited edition only for the 25th anniversary of the lamp. So 2 sizes, and that's it. You see some examples and all that. Anisha, just now, before I talk about the project we've done, the last one we've done in Dubai, W Hotel, all rooms, we actually put this one. this is the lamp we use. Again, it's one of the best sellers. Very simple. There are two colors, white and red. There are two sizes, small and big. And it's a built-in LED. The LED is built in here. And there's a touch dimmer. So you see this dot? The dot here. So if you touch it, you can switch on and off. But if you keep pressing, it will dim up and down. So make it brighter or less bright. So very simple, but very popular, one of the best sellers. All right, Magneto, from Giulia Kate, again very simple. It's a reading lamp, built-in LED, on/off only, no dimmer. We just launched the two colors, the new colors, black and white, and it's just a very simple lamp. The important thing about this, why it's called Magneto, because there's a magnet. So this ball is a magnet that holds this one and this one together. So like this. So you can actually detach it, move it up and down and whatever, and then bump again. So the magnet will keep them together. It's a very directional light. You can see one thing from our catalog that is interesting that you should know, if you don't know yet, is, okay, this is the lens, is that whenever we show a lamp, we also show the sketch here, and in the sketch we show the distribution of the light. So you can see here clearly how the light goes. You see, it goes this way. So this shows more or less what's the distribution of the light. So in this case, you can see it's very directional. So it's a reading lamp. It's not one of those lamps that creates a halo or something, right? And there's a reading version as well. I mean the floor version as well. Just now I showed you the Chao-Chin. This is the reverse Chao-Chin. If you remember, the one before is painted here and white here. Now reverse. We launched the new version. Both available. So painted here and white here. What's the difference? This one is brighter because obviously there's more light. Both available and both Bahia, Mini and LED. It's a wall lamp, both LED and fluorescent. There are two different versions. There's another one which is bigger. There's one more ring outside. Okay, the bigger one. Lake. We just launched it this year and already becoming very, very popular. People really like it because it's quite particular. There's a recess here. There's an LED, built-in LED, lighting source here that projects the light over the plate. It's like a plate. Imagine a tray, for example, and then the light is projected here. Why it's called lake? It's called lake because it looks like those lakes in the mountains in Europe. They are those round-shaped lakes. So when you fly, you see them when you fly over the mountain. So this is why they call it lake. And these colors. And then the best, the most popular of all our new products this year, which is the spokes. This one, when we launch it, we have so many orders we can't even produce. So we've been a bit late with the production. So now it's back to normal. But it's the most popular of our. Definitely, this is one you have to have because this is this year's bestseller for sure. Simple, two colors, two sizes, and two shapes, as I said. LED, okay, going down and going up. Particular thing, you see the cable going all the way to here, and then it stops here. There's no cable inside, though the lighting source is here, because the cable is built in one of the spokes here in the structure. So there's no cable around, so it's very neat. And then kurage, which in Japanese means jellyfish, designed by Nendo and Luca Nicheto. Jellyfish, this is the only product whereby one piece is not made in Italy, which is this part, which is made in Japan. Because it's a special paper that only in Japan they make it. So, but the lamp itself is made in Italy, but this one we buy from Japan because it's a special thing. So it's paper, it's Gem and Tartan, new ones we're launching, 1 and 2. It's handmade blown glass. It's big like this, handmade blown glass. We just launched it now, so it's going to be available. Greg, you have it here, right on top. 3 sizes, as you can see. Very simple, essential shape, handmade blown glass. It comes in various versions. There's also the wall, and there's also the floor. You can do customized installations, like for this client in the UK. They wanted to have something special, so we designed this for them. This is the wall version. This is a hotel in Spain, the stairs. Another special installation we've done for this client in France. So we designed the canopy, we designed everything for them. They just gave us the size, and then we do for them. We've done one now, very nice, in Shanghai, for the new Minotti showroom in Shanghai. We have 57 lamps all around like this, coming like a cascade. It's really, really beautiful. As soon as I have the photos, I'll share with you. And we have the outdoor version. The outdoor version is plastic, because outdoor you don't want to use glass, it's too fragile if there's wind or something, so plastic. And we do installations like this one, which we had 474 lamps all together with a light and music show in Milan at the Milan Fair. Maybe later I'll show you the video clip, which is interesting. Or this one in Switzerland. And this one in the UK. This is with Jaguar cars, so we've done the Touareg all the way up. Diesel. What's the concept of diesel? A few years ago, as you're familiar also with Moroso, because they also have a diesel line. You know, Diesel a few years ago decided to have, Renzo Rosso, who's the owner of Diesel, decided to have a living line. Living line, which is made of lightings from us, sofa and chairs from Moroso, and tables. And then Scavolini kitchen. And then there's a Berti flooring. It's actually wooden flooring, quite nice. And I think they're launching a few other stuff now. Anyway, so they approach the professional players in each field. So for us, it's lighting. And when we developed this line, we, of course, didn't want to have a line that was the same as ours, otherwise it wouldn't make sense. So we had to do something completely different. And if you're familiar with the diesel clothes are very industrial, very funky, very garage. So we wanted to reproduce the same thinking for the lamps as well, and for sofa and whatever as well. So this is the thinking behind. So it's completely different. And then, of course, it's a strong brand. The design, I showed you before for Foscarini, the design comes from all those guys that I show you. But for the Diesel line, it comes from the Diesel creative team. So it's Diesel itself that comes with the design to us. So many times they come with many different designs. Some of them are completely crazy and they cannot be made in a lamp, so we have to stop. But others are very interesting, and then so as I said, it's a new target. So it's a different and new target that we have with Diesel. When we launched the Diesel line, we thought it would mainly be a retail-only product because of the brand, strong brand. So we said, very good for retail. It turned out to be very successful in the contract as well, in projects, because designers and architects found that the Diesel line is completely different from anybody else. So it's something completely unique. So they like to have something different and unique, and they specified that in many projects. So I will show you some. So we have a lot of models, and again, with the Diesel line, we're using the same type of materials that we're using for Foscarini line. So even though the thinking is different, the appearance is different, the style is different, the materials are the same. So again, here we're using this particular model called cage. We're using a metal cage, so again metal, and inside blown glass, handmade blown glass. So again, we have metal and blown glass together. In the case of this one, which is the bronze version, it's metal coated. So you have the bronze metal finishing, which is very nice. And then you have the white and the black versions. Many examples here. The green one here is discontinued now, no more. But you can see many examples here. Cage is a very successful model for us. It's one of the, not the best seller, but one of the best sellers. What's interesting to understand also, as I mentioned before, when you put the color, when you paint the glass, it will never change the color, even if you switch on the lamp. But if you put the color in the minerals, in the composition of the glass itself, here's what happens. This is off and this is on. It's the same lamp. It's the same lamp. So we want to play with the transparencies. We want to have something that is dynamic, that changes slightly the color with the light. to create this blown glass feeling. So if you switch it off, it's completely black, but once you switch it on, the light flows through and it creates this transparency, which is very nice, which is very particular. So this is to understand how it works with the colors. White obviously doesn't change. And this one doesn't change either, because this one is painted, it's coated. So again, it blocks the light. So there are different ways, different solutions, different propositions for the clients. This is the mini version. We call it we call it cage mic. It's like a microphone, as you can see. Same story, metal and then glass. This is a Skype central office in Stockholm. We do a lot of .com, companies in IT. They like our diesel line a lot. We've done Facebook, we've done Google, many of them. Some of them we can't use the photos, some others we can. But this is Microsoft in Singapore, just on the project. Again, we've done the whole office. They only gave us one photo, this one, unfortunately. But okay, better than nothing. And more and more. Table version. Glass. We have to talk about this one because you have to understand how it works. Again, this looks like chrome polished metal, but it's actually handmade blown glass. So why it looks like metal? Because we put a coating that is called one-way mirror. So what happens when the lamp is off, it looks like metal. When you switch it on, it becomes like this. It's the same lamp. This is off and this is on. Why? Because when it's off, what happens, this acts like a mirror. There's no light coming from inside. The light comes from outside, goes all the way to here, gets reflected by the mirror, comes to your eyes, and you see a mirror. So your eyes will tell you this is metal. It looks like, completely looks like metal. I don't know if you have it on display. Okay, but you have the table version. So it's the same concept. Okay, later you can switch on and off and play with it. So once you switch it on, the light comes from inside. There's no coating inside, so it can flow through. So actually, that's why you can see this way. And in this particular case, we played with the dimmer. So this one is brighter, this one is less bright. So you can see the different colors that it gets by using a dimmer, which is quite interesting as well as here. See, this is completely bright, this is less bright, because we dim it down to show the different colors, as well as here. And this is how it looks from a close-up. So it's all handmade blown glass, beautiful, absolutely beautifully crafted and nicely. Again, you can see here, this one is almost off. The dimmer is down, 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 almost off. Again, it goes almost back to the original color, and this is full power. So you see the difference. This is the table version that you have there. This is actually a project in Singapore we've done. It's called Twin Peaks. It's a tower, all furnished apartment. It's a very big residential tower, very high end. They put all premium furnitures and lighting. We've done all the lightings there. And again, this is off, same lamp. Rock, another very popular model for our diesel line. There's a same chair from Moroso. I don't know if you've seen it. You take this one, you flip it this way, you put 4 legs. That's the chair, basically. So, yeah, 3 colors: white, black. In the catalog we call it brown, but it's almost black, and then gold. And many of this. Quite simple, quite nice. This is the best seller for the diesel line, number 1, fork. This is the number 1. Again, this is something that you should have because it's a best seller everywhere. In Australia, we're selling so many of this. The Aussies really like it. 2 colors for the shade, 2 colors for the stem, 4 combinations available. And the suspension and table. There's a bigger suspension, we call it XL, so it's big. It's not in the presentation here, but this is the normal suspension. This is actually in Japan. And this is the best seller one. Orientable shade. Hotel. Mysterio, very simple, very interesting price point. I mean, it's not expensive. We just finished a hotel now in Australia called Mayfair Hotel in Adelaide, all rooms. What's particular about this lamp, this part here below is hand painted with a sponge. So they take a sponge and they go and hand paint that part. It comes in 2 colors. It comes in a wall version as well. This is in Japan. It's quite a simple lamp as well. Tool. It's a sort of a, almost like a spotlight. You can see it here. More. And then the glass drop that you have there, it's actually, again, the same concept. This is when it's off, and this is when it's on. So as a suggestion, something you can do in the showroom that we've done in the fair and we're doing now in China is just to display, just for people to understand how it works. You put a dimmer, automatic dimmer that goes up and down, so the lamp will continue to change the color, so people will understand. So maybe you can look into doing something like this, very simple. And this is the table version of the same lamp. So this is the suspension, and this is the table. Same concept also for the table lamp, off and on. This part is coated, this part is coated, this is not. So this is just purely white. And then on top here, there's another disc that is also white, not coated. So it gives more light coming out. Okay, this shoots in. Here just to show some of the, as I said before, some of the IT companies, those ones that allow to use the photos, because some of them unfortunately don't allow us to use the photos, though we've done the project. So this is Skype that I showed before. You can see they use all our lamps everywhere in their offices. Big Bang, and then the cage mic, and then the fork, and then the rock, and so on. And Google, also Google, they use our lamps all over. Again Uto, again Cage, and all, and so on and so forth. So they use our lamps all over. We have Facebook as well, but Facebook, no photos. Okay, that's Diesel. This is Deutsche Telekom. It's a German telecom operator. Again, they use all the time our lamps. And I want to show you, and this is the last thing, I want to show you a thing that all of you should have on your, you can work on iPhone, iPad, or Android, Samsung, whatever. You have to download, it's free of charge. You've seen before?
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, I'll just show you how it works. So essentially it's just an app.
I downloaded it.
You download it. Okay, so you have this app. So what do you do with this app? You can use an existing photo that you already have on your iPad or iPhone or anything, or you can take a photo. Suppose I take a photo here, right? So we take a photo here. And here you have all the database of lamps, right? So you can add the lamps to these photos. So for example, you click on suspension, and here you got all our suspensions. You can see here. So I don't know, I want to put this one, for example. Here you go. It's here. You can make it bigger, smaller, here. Then you want to add more lamps. Okay, click on plus. Then now you want to do, I don't know, floor. Okay, so here you got all the floor lamps. So I don't know, suppose I take this one. Here you go. Make it bigger, make it smaller, whatever you want. Then table or whatever. Once you're happy, you can save, and then you can share with your clients. So if you have a client who comes in, they're not sure what they want, please take a photo of your place, send it to me, and I will. And then in 2 minutes, you can make a proposal and send it back to them. So all of you should have this. This is for Foscarini, but there's another one. So Foscarini is called iFoscarini, like iPhone. And there's another one called Diesel lamps. Okay? Works the same way. Same thing, take a photo and then add the lamps. So you should have both, because it's a very simple thing without having to, you know, take AutoCAD and do all the rendering, which is, you know, takes time and troublesome. By using this one, that's it. That's pretty much all. On the catalogs, I think you're already familiar. Do you have these ones? How many you have? Enough, or? Okay, maybe later, next shipments, we can add more. This year, we have, okay, for diesel, this is the catalog. It's very straightforward, very simple. Nothing particular to learn about it. For Foscarini, we just changed the catalog, so maybe I'll show you a little bit more. We have 2 catalogs, in fact, actually 3. This one is the main one. It's called collezione, means collections. It shows the whole collection. Okay, so all products. It drills down. It drills down to the individual products. For example, here you got a product. Here you have some simple technical data. One is the type of bulb that you can use. Very important. Again, you have to be 100% sure that you use the right bulbs. This is extremely important. Why? First of all, some lamps, if you use the wrong bulb, you can damage the lamp. Really damage. Severely. You can throw away the lamp after. It can melt, for example, or something like that. Second point, if you don't use the right bulb, you don't achieve the same lighting effect that the lamp was designed for. So it will not look good. So a lamp that is maybe fantastic will look terrible with the wrong bulb. So you have to make sure you use the right bulbs. Okay, so this is a very important message. Besides that, here you can see the light distribution. Again, you see the white shade here. Shows you how the light works. You understand what I mean, right? With this. So here, quickly, you can understand, even to advise a client, you can ask the client, okay, why do you need this lamp? Do you need to project the light on the table? Then I can give you this one, for example. You need it to be very bright for the whole ambient. This one is not suitable because the light goes this way. So you will go to, for example, this one. Whereas the light goes this way, but it also glows around here. So it's a quick reference for you to make proper suggestions, yeah, to the clients. Yeah, so it shows. And then for lamps that, like for this one, for example, that there are so many different configurations of the lamp. Here you can see them. So, okay, now you're looking at the floor version, but here it will tell you that there's another type of floor and there's different types of suspensions, and it will tell you which page to look for it. So quickly, for example, if you want to propose to a client, okay, maybe you can have the floor version and the table version together because they look nice. I'll show you here and colors and everything. So, and in the middle there are some stories about the products. Some of the products that are more popular, like the Twiggy, for example, there's a little bit of a story. The one I told you before, what's behind the inspiration, and you know, the whole process of the design, and then the final product. So we talk a little bit more about it. Not for all products, only for some. Then we have another catalog. I don't know if you have. It's called Ritratti, which means portrait. It's slightly smaller. Okay, there's another one called Panoramica, which is this size. The one is more of a giveaway you can give to interior designers or some important clients. But there's another one, a third one called Ritratti, which is only inspirational. So there's no, even we don't even mention the products. We just show photos. So we took these photographers and we asked them, we gave them some locations and we asked them to come up with very nice photos, inspirational photos. So those ones are only for interior designers. So I don't know if you have them. If not, next time we were going to send some. But I would say that's really pretty much about it. I can give you a USB later for which contains soft copy of catalogs. This one is not really important, but 2D and 3D AutoCAD blocks in case you need them. I don't know if you do any design inside. Do you do any in-house design with the AutoCAD? You do. Okay, so we'll give you the 2D and 3D AutoCAD. 2D and 3D, you know, the AutoCAD blocks that you can put in the project. Yeah, I will give you. I have a USB. Anyway, you can download all those from the website, but you have to register. On our website, you register first, and then you can download all the 2D and 3D. I will leave the catalogs to you anyway, so you have a few extra. Okay, that's it. Thank you. A bit long, but.
For the installation, you got different. We need to know the length of the line and the thickness of the wire. for those informations, can we download from internet?
Yes,
Or
correct.
We can find it in the catalog or?
No, not in the. Which one you need exactly? Which information? Because the installation, the installation instruction, you can download from the website.
Yeah, but the detail of the components.
Yeah, that's on the.
The pendant, the wire, the.
Yeah, this you can download from the website.
那在网络
In the catalog, we don't put the installation instruction. No,
它
on the
有
way.
详细的这个组装的说明，但是也会告诉你说它有哪些零件，它的元件的尺寸大小，就是它配哪些零件，但是那个可能都要上去下载。
Yeah, I wanted to show you, since we talked about before, the multiple canopy accessory. So we have 3 of them. One is round shape and 2 are linear shape, so straight line. You can create all these kind of compositions with most of our pendant model. For example, this is in the line, for example, right? So why we use this, which we supply, because it will conceal all the cables, so it's very neat. You don't have all the terminal board, it's all inside.
其实他们每个吊灯有一些，因为它有吊灯是尺寸比较小的单一的，可是其实它有不同的实体改编型。
More examples.
像刚刚看到的那种长形，可以把电线都收在里面的，其实是可以次搭配。对，可是至于每一盏灯可以搭配什么，可能就是要去网络上点那个产品，然后旁边可能会是那个 information， 还有那个什么 specs， 就是 technical specs， 什么 specification， 可能要点那个去看，才知道说这盏灯有什么东西可以接的。对。
So imagine a table, for example, a dining table. You want to have a line of this one that you have over there. But this way it looks very nice because you don't see all the individual PowerPoints because it's impossible otherwise. Yeah, and okay. So this is something you should also consider to keep. Okay.
大家可以再研究研究，然后再看看有什么其他问题的话再应用。有没有问题的话，我们教训就到这里结束了。
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.